On May 2, 2023, the Chernarussian Movement of the Red Star successfully forced the United Nations out of Chernaruss. Not long after, the Russian Federation granted them free rein, allowing them to pour into the Polish-speaking country of Livonia. On May 30th, Chernarussian President Valery Mazakov and Livonian President Mazvik signed the Declaration of Peace, forming the Allied Nations. After a nasty war in Livonia and constant strikes within Chernaruss from Crimea and Chechnya, the Allied Nations gathered their forces and began their ultimate counteroffensive. Their one goal: retake Chernaruss. As of June latest, the Allied Nations have been led by Lieutenant General Cunningham, an experienced volunteer from England. Under his orders, Bravo Odin Company, Valkyrie Group and their Fenrir Squad, and Alpha 3 will be leading the main assault, with hundreds of BMPs and armored vehicles at their disposal. Their fight is that of the righteous.
It seems the Allied nations have broken through. The village of Sinistok has been liberated by the Vida squad of Valkyrie Group. A few hours before, this military compound was seized by 4 different units. According to a Chernarussian major, they did not take prisoners. 200 Chedeki troops perished in buildings leveled by the BMP tasked to the company.
3 weeks before the awaited counteroffensive, the commander of the PMC, Meteor, Ruslan Gavropol, was shot in the head by a sniper of the Livonian Defense Force. After a major attack on a crucial Red Star supply line, Field Brigadier Marshal Petr Zaluchny and the Barbaros unit captured multiple head figures of the Red Star. Artyom Validivosk fought in Donetsk, where he committed countless atrocious crimes, before being hired by Meteor, PMC and sent to fight in Livonia. On June 30th, he was executed by Field Marshal Zaluchny himself. A mere 2 weeks after this incident, members of the Fenrir squad belonging to the Valkyrie group conducted a raid on the village of Nadbor, where they captured one of the head figures of the Red Star movement in Livonia, Fryktivosky, before shooting him on video. This event has sparked an outrage within a group of many, while most deem the actions of the unit necessary. Field Sergeant Yuri Zelensky shared his insight on the actions of Valkyrie group, condemning its leader, Frigg, of the execution, however supporting it in the end.
I do agree that what Colsign Frigg did at the time was uncalled for and very against our ways. However, Tavosky is a non-terrorist, not just a figurehead of the Chedekis. He was an evil, horrid excuse for a human and needed to be put down like an animal. Frigg has and will not receive punishment for his actions.
Upon receiving permission from his commanding officer, a soldier of the Livonian Defense Force and the leader of Valkyrie Group, going by the call sign Frigg, he tells us his feelings on executing Tavosky.
I take no pity in what I've done. I have killed reds before, not just terrorists. I grew up here in Livonia, and the fuckers have the nerve to try and take this, my home, from Mistrzostwom Europy. They will not. I refuse to accept prisoners, they do no good. They are like cattle, you shoot on and go on to the next, just like that.
On July 4th, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky and the President of Chernaruss signed the Treaty of Tranquility, where they, alongside Livonia, welcomed Ukraine into the Allied nations. As a result, multiple Ukrainian units, including the Carpathian Sikh, have been operating in Livonia and Chernaruss. Widely known on the field as dambusters, they carried out numerous probe and attack missions all throughout the southern Topolon-Nadbor approach, resulting in the recapture of Sarnoak and Zalazy. Red Star forces have reached up to 220,000 casualties, while the Allied nations have reached up to 134,000.
Updates on the situation will be as constant as. However, the number of casualties on either side is mostly estimated and likely not 100% correct. Livonian and Red Star forces continue to battle relentlessly for the villages of Gliniska and Brenna in order for the Red Star to retain some level of sustainability in the country, while their rear forces file back into Chernarus while simultaneously filling holes in the gaps on the front. Lieutenant Colonel Stepan Andreevich claimed that the Reds were falling right where they want them to be, and their sights never so clear. Andreevich has made the bold statement numerous times that the Chernarussian Defense Forces will be fighting in Chernarus again very soon. Thank you for tuning into tonight's episode of The Word. I'm Katie Billingsley and we support Chernarus.